Hey everyone, Heather here. When I first started out, I actually didn't have any money and I had no credit. I was $5,000 in debt and I had some credit. It was very, weak, like maybe $1,000 on a credit card, and I hadn't really focused on it. And I was contributing to a retirement plan, but it was $50 here, $20 there. I think the maximum I had in there was maybe $1,500. And when I first started out, before I became a multimillionaire with 8 different businesses, we all have to start somewhere. So I'm hearing from a lot of you that you're in this position, and a lot of people don't even know where to start. And some people are even confused about what idea or product or service they want to do. They want to do something, they have some ideas, but they're just not really clear on what the next step should be. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and a little bit about what I've gone through and how I got out of that. So if you're feeling, let's start from the very, very, very beginning. If you're feeling like you have an idea and you want to do something, but you're just not really sure about what that could be, your first step would then be to get clear on that. So what I did when I was in that position, because I was there too, I've actually had to start from the beginning twice. So the first time I was really clear, but the second time I went through a divorce and I lost everything and I had to start from scratch, and I felt like I had tons of knowledge and tons of expertise and I had tons of opportunities, but sometimes that can be really confusing and limiting in itself, because which direction do you go to first, right? Which direction do you take next? What's the next step? So what I did is I sat down and I took about 3 hours and I just put it in my calendar to make sure I did it. And I got really clear. I did a bunch of exercises. And then what came out of that is I started teaching clarity workshops. So if you guys are in this position, reach out to me, PM me below, comment below or PM me if you want to know some more details about when my clarity workshops are, because I do those about twice a year. And if there's more demand, I'll do more. But if you're interested, just PM me or comment below and to find out when the next one is. Anyway, so I basically lead my clients through different clarity exercises, and we get really deep into what the core desires are and what they look like and what the words describe them, and then we do a bunch of exercises to visualize those. So then you get super clear on which direction you want to go. So that's the first step, is getting really clear on what you want to do. What's your if you have an idea, which, or maybe several ideas, which idea do you want to go with? And then maybe you already have an idea, but you're just not sure how to get started. Or maybe you think that one idea is what you want to, go with, but then you do the clarity work, and what comes out of that is something completely different. I had somebody that thought they wanted a bunch of kids, and after doing the clarity workshop, they decided they didn't want to have kids at all. So it's really interesting when you go deep and you pull up exactly what you want and you get so clear about that, and then you just propel forward into that direction, right? Then things start showing up to support that. So anyway, that's the first thing. If you already have a product or a service or idea and you want to start it, your next step is to be resourceful. So some people don't know the difference about good debt and bad debt. I just got off the phone yesterday with some people. They were brought up old school, they said, and that their parents taught them to never have credit cards, and they didn't get a credit card until they were, I think you said 43 or 45, something like that. And what happens then is you're very limited. And also when you start your business, you do need some money. You do need to invest in it if you want to grow it, especially if you want to grow it quickly. If you're just doing everything on the cheap and for free, your business is going to reflect that. But it's also your mindset. If you're worried about how you're going to pay your next bill because you don't have any money in the bank, or you don't have any credit cards or credit to tap into to pay your bills, you're going to be coming from this fear and scarcity and doubt mindset. And that always radiates out to who you're talking to. Even if you're not using the words and you think you're not portraying that, if that's the case, you're gonna have some feeling of that in the background, and it's gonna come out when you're talking to people. So if you can set yourself up with some credit, and then you can focus on that. I remember when I was starting over, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had access to a lot of credit. I didn't have money coming in, and I was focused on how much money did I have access to. And what I did when I first started out with no money and no credit is I applied for a credit card with a $500 down, I think it was, and then every 6 months you can go back to the credit card company and ask for an increase. And you just buy something on the credit card, you know, it could be $1. Just make sure you pay it back in full after you purchase it, or you pay the minimum balance, actually paying the minimum balance and accruing a tiny bit of interest. So if you bought something for $5 and then the minimum payment was $3 or something like that, then you'd pay that $3 and then the next month pay it off. So it's starting to, you know, the credit card companies, they want money, right? So this is a little hack on how to start creating some access to income or access to money, because that's what our society lives on, right? So that's the next step. So first is to get clear. Second is to be resourceful, get resourceful, start building up your credit so you have access to more and more money. The more credit you have access to, the better your credit is. In the United States especially, is almost better than having money. So I also mentioned the good debt versus bad debt. So some people don't understand the difference. So bad debt, consumer debt, is when you are purchasing things that won't make you more money. But all millionaires, billionaires, they look at their return on investment. So when they invest in something, and that's investing in something that could have a return. So they'll ask themselves, okay, I'm going to go into debt here, but it's a good debt if it can make you money in the future. So any programs or books or houses, income properties, especially your main residence isn't really considered an investment, but when you get into income properties, now you're looking at return on investment, unless you're renting out some rooms and living there for free, stuff like that. Anyway, I could go on and on about that, but just to clarify, good debt versus bad debt. You're not going out and getting all this credit and then buying TVs and going on trips and buying a bunch of clothes that are not going to give you a return on investment, unless you're doing speaking engagements for example. Then you do need to invest in some nice clothes and start, portraying exactly that. So then you could have a return on investment in that way. You've always got to be thinking about, what am I using this credit for? Am I using it to learn something that can be applied to my business, and then that will make me more and more money and over and over again, for a lifetime? Or is it something like a cheap t-shirt that's going on sale that is going to last you, a few months, and then you're going to throw it in the garbage and you're going to lose that money? Does that make sense? So when you're talking about creating credit and creating debt, just keep in mind it's good debt versus bad debt. Okay, so that would be second step. And then the third step is go out and learn and find out everything you can about what you're doing before you start doing it, and make sure you have a clear strategy in mind, a clear strategy of from A to Z. How are you going to set this business up? If you just have an idea, or you've got an amazing product, or you are struggling with to get clients around your service, but you're really great at what you do, I recommend going and finding a coach. You can find somebody that's been there, done it. They're coaching other people. That will get you there a lot quicker. Invest in books, invest in different programs to get you there really quick. So it saves you a lot of time and a lot of money, instead of just piecing everything together for free and playing a guessing game of how to do it all yourself. And then, the fourth step now is going and implementing everything. So I always tell people, don't run Facebook ads unless you absolutely understand how to run Facebook ads. Don't just piece it all together and think that you know how to do it. And don't spend money on Facebook ads if you don't have a clear strategy on how to get them. Like, I teach my clients how to write the copy in a specific way so that it generates curiosity for those clients, for those people, their ideal clients. And the way they can write that copy is because we've done a whole bunch of work to figure out who their ideal client is ahead of time. what kind of language they use, what are their likes, dislikes, doubts, fears, desires, dreams, all that stuff. So before they go out and spend a bunch of money and lose a bunch of money, is usually the outcome on doing, Facebook, Instagram marketing, or, wasting time and money on flyers and all that kind of stuff. I recommend that you have a clear idea of how to set up your business before you even do any marketing, because if it's not set up properly, it's not going to scale properly either. And what happens is usually people get really burned out. So I recommend before you do any marketing, setting your business up first. So you got this great product, your great service, your great idea. You want to set that business up properly so you can scale, so there's no ceiling on your time. You can leverage your time, get great results for your clients, make a huge impact, and then start marketing it. Does that make sense? So if you have any questions about clarity, about resources and being resourceful, I've got a whole list of resources to tap into on how to increase your credit and get that going. But make sure you have that cushion, so when you're communicating your message clearly to people, that you are coming from that place of abundance and that you have access to all that, and you're not scrambling and scared that you're going to be running out of money any day. Does that make sense? So make that your next goal. Once you've got that and you've got a lot of credit and stuff to fall back on, and a little bit of a cushion there, then go for it and start putting your business together in a certain way where you're not going to be capped, so you can scale your business. If you have any questions about any of these things, you can PM me, you can put a comment below and tag me, or I will put the link to how I have my business set up now, because I get a flow of calls coming in every day for people wanting to work with me because of the way I communicate. I'm so clear on who my ideal clients are, what languages they use. They often say, wow, I felt like you were talking to me personally, and then they book calls with me because that's how it works. So, you don't have any, people don't want to buy from you if they don't feel a connection, right? So there's a certain way to do this, and I teach my clients how to do that all the time. Anyway, we could go on and on, but I just wanted to give you those quick steps to get you started. If you haven't done any of those things, if you're not clear, get clear. If you don't have the resources behind you, start working on that. Get your credit cleaned up, or get more credit. Call your credit card companies and get an increase. Apply for different credit cards and lines of credit. Go to your bank, all that kind of stuff. Set it up so that you can really invest in yourself, invest in your business to get it where you want to go quickly, so you can start living your dreams today. Because life is short, time is short. You can always make money, but you can never get time back, right? Anyway, have a great day, guys. Again, I will give you all those links below so you can access the different things that I was talking about here, and contact me if you need anything. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.